Jazz. Alright, so boom. The big coming Carlos said he had a late pregame and I could pull up on him. Tryna roll. For real? Bet. Pull up to the pregame. Yeah. Pull up to the pregame. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Hey. Pull up to the pregame. Yeah. Pull up to the pregame. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Hey. Catch a vibe, come and meet the team. Come and kick it with your fave 3. Chop it with us, come and join the stream. Trust me, y'all, it's must see. It's a culture party if you partaking. Hottest podcast, it ain't no debating. It's ringing off cause it's so engaging. Let's keep it tall. You won't find this on no other page. This kind of talk, this kind of cloth right here is tailor-made. What up, love? Tryna have fun, we the plugged in. It's for the people so the culture win. Need an outlet, then tap in. Come tap in. We keep it fresh with the content. We even got Bash Stop from Carolina Blitz. And Shot from P&P, they're a perfect fit. Cause what's the point of a pregame if it ain't lit? It's lit, it's lit, it's lit.
Yo, welcome back. It's Thursday, we lit, we live, and while y'all here at the Pregame podcast, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. What's up, everybody? Let me fix this camera real quick. Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Let me see who's in the chat. See a lot of people already in the chat. If y'all are new here, welcome to the Pregame podcast, where we talk about all things sports and pop culture. We got a fun one for you today. So Vashti should be coming in. Shad is sick, so he may not be coming in. So definitely prayers up for the boy, Shad. Prayers up to him. Hope he's feeling better, man. The flu has been going around. It's been going around, man. So y'all make sure y'all get on your meds. All those fun things. Let me fix. There we go. I was all crooked. Nobody told me. Now it's fun. Yeah, make sure y'all take your meds out here because it's real in the field. So just make sure y'all good. The chat is popping, man. So shout out to y'all. For those who are new, welcome to the Pregame podcast. One thing we always do to start off is we always ask what you're pulling up with, right? And if you're new, if you've been to a pregame and once or twice in your life, you never come to a pregame empty-handed unless you're Vashti, right? Vashti says she's the one that shows up with her and her appetite, right? But you never come empty-handed. You always bring something to the pregame. So the way that I do that is basically just saying, hey, what are you pulling up with that, what it could be about your week. It could be about, the weekend. What type of energy, what type of vibe, what type of mood are you pulling up with today? So let me see. Let me ask what y'all think. Somebody said, pull my camera down. There we go. We good. So yeah, let me know what y'all pulling up with. For me, I'm pulling up with good vibes, man. I might share. I got a surprise. I got something I've been working on that I secured. So I may share it with y'all today. I may not share it with y'all today. It really depends on how I'm feeling. But it's going to be pretty dope. So I'm happy about that. Let me see. Pulling up with a 3-day weekend. Okay. I wonder, is it a 3-day weekend starting Friday to Monday? Or do you have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off? Curious about that. But shout out to the 3-day weekend. I had a 3-day weekend this past week, had MLK day off. Speaking of MLK, did y'all see that Sexy Red tweet that came out? That was nasty work. Why would she even do something like that? I don't know. That was wild. We're not gonna talk about that today because I ain't got time for that ignorant stuff. Happy MLK day on Monday. Hope everybody enjoyed yourselves. Hope everybody reflected on all the amazing things that Martin Luther King did. So shout out to that. All right, so we got a fun, jam-packed agenda today. So we're going to talk a little bit about NFL news. For those who watch the divisional round playoffs, we're going to talk about those games specifically. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because we're getting down to the nitty gritty of not having a lot of NFL games until, call it, September, right? So I want to break down each game, what you saw, your thoughts, and I want this to be engaging, right? So I want you all to kind of, talk back to me in the comments, ask questions, give me your takes, all those fun things. So we talk a little bit about that. If you saw the YouTube thumbnail, you saw who was on the thumbnail, right? Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson, right? And so the title of this episode is When Being Good is Bad, right? And so it's the reason I named it that is because I want to talk about the importance of truly capitalizing on your Super Bowl window, right? And making sure that the front office, the players, the coaches do everything in their God-given ability to make sure that you strike when the iron's hot. And so we're going to break that down a little bit and talk about some of the Super Bowl window situations that have happened in the NFL. We'll talk a little bit about the Detroit Lions. But of course, as me being a Carolina Panthers fan, we bring it back home and kind of talk about what that necessarily means for the Panthers moving forward, right? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about the college football championship, some of our thoughts around what we saw, what's going to happen moving forward. And then I got a question, and I need everybody in the chat. We got a lot of people in here already, so make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We got a lot of people on Twitter that's watching, a lot of people on YouTube. Make sure y'all come over here and rock with your boy. But I want to know, who is the real wide receiver university, right? Is it Ohio State? Is it LSU? We'll figure that out. And then we'll talk about some new year, new leagues. We got some new leagues coming out. And we'll, I got some footage to show y'all and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? All right, let me take that off. All right. So we're going to try this. I'm going to put it on the side here. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is probably the Chiefs and Texans game, right? So let's look at this Chiefs and Texans game right here, right? So I got this over here on the side. So crazy game, first and foremost, for those who did not see it. Absolutely crazy game. I won't lie. The Texans did all right, right? They stuck in there. But the Chiefs, along with the refs, whatever you want to say, the refs showed out, and there were some questionable calls throughout that entire game. Let's just be real. There was definitely some questionable calls. But at the end of the day, man, it's getting to the point. Am I tripping, or is it getting to the point where it always seems like Mahomes always finds a way, where it's like, everybody always used to say, don't bet against Brady. Is it getting to the point where you could say don't bet against Mahomes? Is it because he has the zebras behind him? That's neither here nor there. I don't know. But what we saw in that game, the defense showed up. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say CJ Stroud got sacked like 8 times that game. I think it was 8 exactly. 8 times that game. And this clip here is kind of showing some of those sacks that happened in the game. He got hurt a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was interesting to see that game. Interesting to see how the Texans played that game, especially since they played them earlier in the season. So that was very, very interesting. But I want to know, was this what y'all expected? This outcome, was it what you expected? Me personally, heck yeah. I had the Chiefs beating the Texans here, but it was definitely wild to see how much the refs impacted the game, especially in the playoffs. I think that's what pisses me off the most. Is when refs truly impact the game, and we saw a lot of questionable calls, especially when Mahomes did the slide. So he slid, and it was they called unnecessary roughness on it, which is pretty wild. So let me bring in the one, the only, real quick. Let me take this off real quick. There she is, Vashti. Let's talk.
Man, Thursdays be rough. We might have to do another day, Carlo.
Hey,
Yo. Uh
why is it? Look, is it rough? Why is it rough? Talk to me.
no, Thursdays are they're busy. For whatever reason, Thursdays are like jam packed. Which when I was in corporate world, Thursdays were busy days because people would be in the office Thursdays
Yeah.
and not Friday. It just seems to be a busy day.
Well, okay. So if we did change it, I don't even know what day makes sense. We got to figure that out. Chat.
We gotta talk
Oh,
about
I
it.
figured out how you can look at the chat. It was all on
Okay.
you. All right, look. So look, y'all, we gonna pardon us. We'll get back into the content in a minute. So you're looking at your screen, look all the way at the top right, and you see a little chat icon. Click on that. Boom. And while y'all at it, shout out to Everyday Gaming 98. Hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate you.
No,
Make sure y'all do it.
I had that up. It doesn't let me see it.
You sure? I don't know. I think it's
I promise you, it says comments and then comments from live viewers, and it says no comments, and then on guest chat privately with the host and other guests, no chat
I don't want to
messages.
chat with you privately on while we on.
I'm just telling you
That's
what I
interesting.
see.
I know I'm just
Yeah.
giving you a hard time. Hey, Wednesday pregame will be lit. Wednesday, hump day. What you think?
I
Wednesday?
don't know.
Oh, here she goes. She over here complaining about Thursday and can't make up her mind on Wednesday.
We're gonna have to figure it out.
Or you can't have anything. Peanut butter, no jelly.
Ham,
Milk,
no
no
burger.
cereal. Ham, no burger.
Hey.
Sheesh. Boy, Vashti. All right, Vashti, what you pulling up with? Pulling up with your purse?
Fatigue. I'm
I
tired.
hear you. I hear you. All right, so you didn't miss much. I just basically reacted to the Chiefs Texans game. Did you get a chance to see that? Any playoff games over the weekend?
Yeah.
You did? Cool. Let me bring you back in. Boom. All right. So before we continue through the playoff games, I got some stuff I want you to react to. That cool with you?
Yeah, it's pixelated, so I really can't. The picture is heavily pixelated on my end, so I don't know if y'all see me clearly.
Yeah, we can see you loud and clear.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I might not be able to see it is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But go ahead, shoot.
No worries. So for those who can see it as well, I want y'all to react to it as well. I thought this was interesting. So there's something that happened this week. Let me give you context. The Celtics played the Warriors, and if y'all remember in the summertime, Tatum was getting benched a lot. He didn't play at all, and everybody was clowning Jason Tatum for not playing. And Steve Kerr said that it was his fault that he wasn't playing. All those different things. However, this is the first time that maybe not the first time It may be. I don't know. But they actually finally played the Warriors. The Celtics did. And this is them talking post game. So you see Kerr trying to talk to Tatum while Curry talking to him. They ignoring him. He looking around like, I'm going to try to talk to him. No, I'm going to walk off. And everybody went crazy. Everybody was cracking up saying that Tatum dissed Kerr. He didn't want to talk to him, this, that, and the third. My question is, are people leaning too much into this? Was it just the fact that he was really locked in with Curry? Or was he really trying to ignore Kerr for what he did? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm trying to see the video. It's hard for me to see. Did he try to dap him up or?
So he was like, you know how people sit awkwardly on the side waiting to talk to somebody?
Right.
And he wasn't moving. And he was just kind of sitting there. And he just happened to walk off because he realized that Tatum wasn't giving him no attention whatsoever.
Oh, they blew that up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Celtics definitely went crazy. But yeah, they definitely blew that up for sure. Definitely blew it up. Everyday Gaming said, my Celtics destroyed the Warriors, but I'm glad we didn't shake Steve Kerr's hand because we don't like you, dude. Hey, look, when it comes to the Olympics and having all those all-stars on the game, it's kind of hard to get everybody playing time. Somebody's going to sit on the bench. And it just happened to be Jason Tatum that year. So that was interesting. Another thing that was interesting, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, Vashti, but college football championship happened. The Ohio State Buckeyes won. They all celebrating, they partying, having a good time, and the cart is taking them back to the locker room. And then, boom, the cart crashes. The lady crashed the cart and gets the cart stuck. It's literally stuck. The look that Ryan Day gave her, he was thinking about some explicitives in his head. Like, what are you doing? Can you see that clear, or is it still pixelated on your end?
I've seen it, but it's pixelated. I can't really see your video, but I've seen this video.
Yeah, that was nasty work.
I didn't see his.
Yo, his reaction.
I didn't really see his reaction, or I wasn't really looking for it.
He gave her the bombastic side eye. Crazy. Like, you could have really injured somebody. Like, it was definitely nasty work. So you can't see it, but it's all good. I know you saw it before. If you were in that cart when that happened, what words you got for old girl?
I'm probably laughing.
You would laugh?
I don't have any words for her.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. What's the big deal? I mean, it was reckless, but like it was an accident. She didn't mean to do it. They remember the carts that got in an accident at the Olympics?
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever been in a car accident?
When I was younger, not like while I was driving. Yeah.
It happens.
It does, but my biggest thing is like, like it was no other cars or carts or anything involved. And sometimes when you don't know you got that corner, you kind of ease into it. This girl she was straight on the gas, like she knew she had it. That's what I got an issue with. No pause.
It happens. I'm giving her grace.
Look at you giving grace. This is a grace pod?
No.
Look, I'm just saying. So I'm mad because your thing is pixelated, because look, if y'all watch Quick Blitz, one thing that Vashti and Sheena are known for is dripping or tripping. And I had a dripping or tripping segment for you from the Indiana Pacers. It was a video, but you're not gonna be able to see it, so I may have to save it for next time.
Yeah.
But it was about to be a good one. It It's about to be a good one. All right, let's get into the Washington-Detroit game. What are your thoughts on this game? Jaden Daniels, rookie, against the powerhouse, the one probably the favorite to get to the Super Bowl, and he put up 350 yards passing on him. Did you get a chance to watch this game on that Saturday?
So yes and no. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I was locked into this game like that. Was I? Saturday seems so long ago.
It does.
So
it really does.
I'm sure I watched the game. I just wasn't it like I don't know. I watched the game.
Yeah, it was a close game at first, and then Washington they are solid, man, and it's crazy to watch a rookie quarterback be so poised, like Jaden Daniels. Like nothing moved him. The entire time. Like he looked calm, cool, and collected. Like that California cool. That's what he really showed. And that defense, that Washington defense, definitely showed up. Definitely played well. They were prepared for whatever Detroit was going to throw at them. And Jared Goff was Jared Goff. Like Jared Goff to me personally is not like a elite receiver by any means. Not an elite quarterback by any means. He just gets the job done. I think, if we want to use the Cam Newton saying of being a game manager, right, versus a game changer. Like he's a game manager. Like when Jared Goff does not make any mistakes, they usually win. But that man was throwing picks and bad balls left and right. So shout out to Jaden Daniels for making it this far in the playoffs. I thought that they would be good, but I was not expecting this at all. At all. So shout out to the Washington Commanders for that game. And best of luck moving forward. Let's go to the LA Philly game. Did you watch the Snow Bowl?
What day was that on?
That was Sunday. That was
okay.
Yeah. That was the first game on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I was watching it, but I was also at this function with my mom, so it was like,
Shout out to Mama Blitz.
Yeah. But I did see it, most of it.
All I gotta say about this is the GM from the New York Giants should be fired, because how do you not prioritize Saquon Barkley? And this man is having a generational season. He ran for 207. How much? It was something crazy, like 250, 205, something like that. Let me look it up. He went crazy. It was basically the Saquon Barkley game. And he ran for 255 earlier on the Rams during the season. So he already knew that they were going to be locked in on him the entire game. So at first, the first half, it was a little iffy for Saquon, but then it started snowing. So the Eagles had to really run it. And, the man showed out. I think Jalen Hurts only threw for like less than 155 yards. So there wasn't a passing game by any means. But Saquon went stupid. Now, it's always interesting when teams start to come out and tell injuries after the fact. And so now they're saying that last week, Matthew Stafford broke 4 ribs and still played. And so I'm like, why wasn't that on the injury report if he broke 4 ribs? If that is true, I don't know. But yeah, Saquon ran for 205, so it was crazy. Last game, sad game. Baltimore versus Buffalo. You caught that game? I know you caught this
Yeah.
one because you was tweeting.
Yeah, I did.
Nasty work. What were your thoughts?
Mark Andrews.
Mark.
Like, bruh, like that's one time I wouldn't have been able to take that high road as a teammate, bruh. Like, what are you doing? You caused a fumble. You fumbled the ball, which actually Baltimore was driving. You fumble the ball. Buffalo comes back and scores. Then Lamar leads this miraculous drive
Mm-hmm.
to come within 2 points. They actually, I wasn't even a fan of the 2 point. Like, I prefer, you got a guy like Derrick Henry, you can run in the 2 point conversion, but they don't. They
Mm-hmm.
ran that play. You dropped the ball, bruh.
Nasty.
Like, what are you doing? That's terrible. I saw a stat. His stats in the playoffs are absolutely abysmal. Like, that's inexcusable to me. That's inexcusable. I wouldn't want that person on my team anymore. I
Ooh,
really don't
what?
care.
Over what? Really? Over
Over
one?
what?
Over one drop. Mark.
One drop
Look.
and a fumble?
Okay, one drop and a fumble. One game. One bad game. Right. One bad game.
No.
But Mark. Here's the thing. Mark Andrews was at one point Lamar Jackson's premier target before the Zay Flower days, before the Isaiah Likely days. He was his target. And now you got Zay Flowers, and now you got Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews' role has significantly decreased. And I don't know if that's affecting what is like that, if that's affecting his head, but something has changed for sure. Definitely.
Where is it? But yeah, that I'm looking for the stat where in the playoffs. Okay. Yeah. In the playoffs, Mark Andrews has 29 catches, 315 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 fumble, and like 8 drops. Like, I'd have to go back but it's bad. Like, he's not good in the playoffs. And what good does that do? Like, you can stack these numbers in the regular season, but when it counts, like, no.
Deontay got a point. Deontay definitely has a point here. Lamar had 2 turnovers too. So the blame definitely goes around. He had the pick. Yeah,
but Lamar
it was a bad pick too.
Lamar had the turnovers in the first half.
Yeah. And he turned, yep.
And he made up for them.
He did. He definitely did.
Like, timing matters as well.
It does. It does.
If I make it, if I have 2 turnovers early in the game and I'm able to redeem myself, okay. But no, with the game on the line, I think that Lions drive ended up being like the game winning drive.
Yeah. And
like, come on.
The crazy part about it too is I see a lot of people. I think it was one analyst on ESPN. Who was it? Chris Sims. He was like, "Oh, that could have been a better pass." I'm like, "Yo, it was in his chest. Like, the pass was in his chest. There was nobody's fault but Mark Andrews." And shout out to my pops. He said he might need a wellness check. No, for real. Like,
well, he finally posted the first time. Yeah,
it was a long.
And I don't even want to see that. Like, save that. Like, save that. And then they're giving props to Bills fans. Like, that whole charity thing is real. It's like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not giving goodness to me, because you're basically rewarding players for playing badly to benefit your team to win. It's not, you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart.
No, definitely not.
If Mark Andrews, like, you're rewarding Mark Andrews for sucking so that your team won. Like,
it was a petty move. Like, it was a petty move.
And he in there talking about, oh, the good. No, bro. Like, you thanking them, like, bro, they rewarding you for being cheeks. I don't like it.
Yo, shout out to Denzel Fair. He said this is not the first time he's had a bad
Yeah.
drop in big games. Isaiah Likely has been more key in those moments at tight end. Completely agree with you. Isaiah Likely is definitely the future tight end for the Baltimore Ravens. That was evident all season. You really did not hear Mark Andrews, but a few years ago, tell him Sheba. A few years ago, Mark Andrews, especially since I played fantasy football, was that tight end to get. Like that's who Lamar was going at. But yeah, they probably gonna cut him, unfortunately. But he'll get picked up. I mean, he's in his prime. I think he's only like 28 years old, so he's definitely in his prime for sure. So he'll get picked up. Question for you: from these playoffs that you've been watching, has there been any themes that you've caught, or like, what are your thoughts, or what have you learned? What have these playoffs taught you? And you can relate it back to the Panthers. You can just say, like, hey, is there a theme or a trend that you've seen in the playoffs? If not, then no worries. I just want to see if you did have some.
I
do have a few.
don't even watch them like that. You know,
Okay.
I'm not studying it like that. My job is to. It's crazy because when you do it for a living, it's different. So I love watching sports as a fan. I'm not analyzing it like I would when I'm watching a Panthers game.
Okay.
And I like that freedom because I can look at it. I might turn to something else. I might be looking at my phone and look up. Like I'm not really studying these games like that. And so,
Yeah, that's real.
my interest isn't invested. So
As it would like a Panthers game.
right.
I respect that. I respect it. For me, I think I love sports. I love looking at it in a different angle and just seeing like, hey, maybe because in a past life, in a future, shout out to Marvel, in an alternate universe, I would love to be a GM, right? And so one thing I always look at is like, okay, what are these games, these teams that are in the playoffs, like what do they have that the Panthers don't have, or what is showcasing as a strength, right? So one thing that I've noticed, it was basically two big things, and the first one is I think is completely evident, and that's great defenses will take you far in the playoffs. And I think we saw it a lot in a lot of the games that we saw, even if the games were high scoring, right? It gets down to, can you make a stop when it matters most? And I think we're seeing that a lot. I think that's how the Rams won their first playoff game. And I think that's how the Commanders did their thing against Detroit. Yes, it was a high scoring game, but when it mattered most, they made those stops. They got those turnovers. And the other thing, and I think this really relates to the Panthers, is good quarterbacks. People have at least one elite wide receiver. Each team on here had some type of wide receiver who could always get open that the quarterback could rely on. Shout out to the Ravens because they lost that receiver in Zay Flowers, and you saw the struggle. You saw what happened. He had to go to the Isaiah Likely's and the Rashad Bateman's, Rashad Bateman is not terrible, but he's not your number one. But you're seeing it with this rookie quarterback in Jayden Daniels, and Terry McLaurin is having a crazy playoff run. But you're seeing these teams have these elite receivers, either one or multiple, or the quarterback is making these really, really good receivers look great. And I think that it is very interesting to kind of watch. Deontay said, playoffs taught me Rams are an underrated organization on how they run and how they've turned a rebuild into a playoff push. For sure, because earlier in the season, no one saw the Rams making it as far as they did. Even when we got that second round pick, we as in the Panthers got that second round pick for them, we didn't think that they were going. We thought it was going to be a high pick. We're like, okay, we good. The Rams don't look good. And boom, they're in the playoffs and they made a beautiful run. And what takes me to my next piece I want to talk about is the importance of Super Bowl windows, right? And we're noticing, I personally think, and I could be completely wrong, and maybe Detroit Lions will shut me up next year, but I personally think that we're seeing the closing of their Super Bowl window with
It just opened last year.
Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving, Jared Goff kind of showcasing who he really is as a quarterback. Now they got Hendon Hooker back there, but they're losing a lot and they're being gutted by their staff. Now their defensive lines coach is a defensive coordinator for another team. They're losing a lot of pieces. Now, granted, they still have some of their players there, but I think I'm not saying it's going to be officially closed next year, but I think we're starting to see it's starting to slowly close. And so I think the biggest thing that it's taught me is like you gotta truly strike while the iron's hot. When your team is on fire and you are a force to be reckoned with out here, you really have to make sure that you set up the team for success, whether it be in free agency, draft, what have you. And the fact that Ben Johnson has stayed in the same division and he knows everything that you got going on in the division, plus he knows every other division rival and what they do and how they do because he's been with the Lions, to me is a little scary, and I think that closes the window a little bit more. Am I tripping on that?
I mean, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
So no, you're not tripping. I don't think their window is closing. People have, even last year, their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator were mentioned in head coach talks. So the assumption is, unless they were completely terrible this season, that they would be even more desirable. So that I mean, what's their head coach's name?
Dan Campbell. Yeah.
He was prepared for this. Like,
I would hope so.
He knew that those guys were going to be gone. It wasn't like what's going on between Jacksonville and Tampa Bay, that mess that's going on today. It literally is, he knew that this was going to happen. Like, they put together a team now, but the philosophy starts from the top down. So, there was changes in the Saints organization. There have been changes in Kansas City organization.
Yeah.
The winning still happens because your head coach sets the tone and like the overall philosophy for the team. And so if Dan Campbell is really that guy, the Lions shouldn't drop off that much. So now we're really going to see what kind of coach he is.
Yeah. And which is why
but I don't think their window is closed. I mean, they were missing a lot of pieces on defense.
They were.
That they'll get back a lot of pieces on defense. I'm actually shocked that they were able to finish the season as strong as they were with the injuries that they had going on. So
shout out to their GM.
Yeah, I don't think the window is closed yet. I don't think it's closed yet.
I don't think it's like, let me just clarify. I don't think that it's officially closed, but I do think that I think personally next year we're going to start to see that window closing. I think that they've hit their peak. This was the year. This was the year that they were going to make it.
With those injuries though, it's tough.
It was, but I don't think
it literally has to be like almost a perfect storm.
Yeah. But I think that's the reason I think about it too, because it's like, yeah, you had Aiden Hutchinson get hurt, but you went and this is what I mean about striking when the iron's hot. You lost Aiden Hutchinson, and that GM made a move and got Zaire Smith, right? And who is a veteran who had a pretty good season with them since he's been with Detroit. You make those moves. Now, granted, other people got hurt. And so I don't think they were expecting Washington to do what they did. I don't even think that Washington fans expected to see what they saw that game. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. And with Ben Johnson as now a division rival with the Caleb Williams and DJ Moore and all the people they got, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So I think that this, even though this is going to sound crazy because they had so many injuries, I feel like this year was their easy journey. I think they're going to have to really, really work hard to make some things happen moving forward. That's how I feel about it. Did you see? Hold on a second. Everyday Gaming said Detroit's window is going to close in 2 or 3 more seasons because they have to start paying. Yep, they're going to have to start paying people. So they have 2 more seasons, possible 3 with the structures. True. We'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting. Did you get a chance to see the college football championship? Any thoughts on that game? Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Marcus Freeman, I think he was the first.
Boring.
I thought the game was in until the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter got a little interesting.
The game was boring. The garbage points don't really count.
But it wasn't.
Like,
it kind of got interesting at the game. They made it a
Notre
game towards
Dame
the
was
end.
never in this game.
The first drive they were. That was it.
Okay, but that doesn't count because literally you gotta see at least 2 drives, one from each team, to like when Ohio State answered, and then that was it.
It was it.
Literally,
You're
that
right.
was game.
You're right.
Boring.
Tomatoes. So it was definitely, I don't know, it was not one of the best championship games that I've seen. I think it was cool to witness this young gentleman right here, Jeremiah Smith, which is some of the highlights from his 2 touchdown game in Oregon. That wide receiver to me is like a young Julio Jones. A lot of people say that if he came out right now, he'll be number 1 pick, straight up. Number 1 pick, the best wide receiver in the draft as a freshman. Did you know he was Geno Smith's cousin? Did you see that?
I don't even know this person.
You know Jeremiah Smith, number 4 freshman.
I do not follow college football like that, honestly.
Well,
I'll watch the playoffs.
He's the truth.
I will follow the teams that we cover, but I don't really know these players until they get in the league and I gotta cover them.
Well, he's the truth, first off. But it got me thinking about something that I saw on Twitter. And they talked about the different receivers that came from LSU or Ohio State, right? So you got Justin Jefferson, LSU. Garrett Wilson, Ohio State. Jamar Chase, LSU. Terry McLaurin, Ohio State. Malik Neighbors, LSU. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Ohio State. Brian Thomas Jr., LSU. Chris Olave, Ohio State. Who is wide receiver you? Like, who has the best wide receivers coming out of university? Do you have a answer? What's your opinion? LSU or Ohio State in terms of the best wide receivers?
I'm taking those LSU guys over those Ohio State guys.
Why?
It's really not even a difficult decision.
Ooh.
I think Justin Jefferson is a game changer.
Yeah.
I think Malik Neighbors Jamar Chase, like those guys. I'm honestly taking every one of those LSU receivers, with the exception of Brian, over any of those Ohio State guys.
Okay.
I mean,
it's easy. It was easy for you. I agree. Usually we go back and forth, but I got LSU. Now, granted, the Garrett Wilsons, the Terry McLaurins, they're solid, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. has potential to be really good. Jeremiah Smith, who I just talked about, he's going to be great. But ain't nobody touching Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase right now. Malik Neighbors. Like, I got to give it to LSU. I think LSU has the best wide receivers coming out. We'll see if that continues. But for the receivers that are in here right now, LSU got it. All right. So you remember when we watched, one thing about pregame podcasts is we love Love is Blind. We end up always watching it, even though we say we won't, and we always review it. Did you hear about Ashley and Tyler getting a divorce? Do you remember Ashley and Tyler from last season? He was the one that was the
Of course, I
quote-unquote
remember
sperm
Carlo.
donor. I just had to make sure.
Of
I'm letting
course, I
I'm letting the crowd
remember.
know. I'm letting the crowd know. So they were married. They stayed married. She said, after she found out that the sperm donor ain't really a sperm donor, she said, "I'm going to stick beside him. I'm going to stick beside him." And she ain't sticking no more. She is out of here. What are your thoughts on them finally coming out after a year and some change to say they are getting a divorce?
This is not surprising. Bro is terrible off rip. He was
Facts.
terrible, and she looked stupid. So, like, I don't know. I saw something. I saw a quote, and
Yeah.
it was like, it was. Y'all take it as you wish. And this is paraphrasing because I wish I had the actual quote. It might be on my Instagram saved stuff, but basically the gist of the quote is like, a man will not, if a man is beneath, on quotes, a woman, he will always drag her down with him. And that's what I felt like happened with this. Like, he drug her down. Like, he just wasn't it. I gotta find this quote because I think the way that I'm saying it wasn't like, didn't give it justice.
Find that, because
But I'm not. I say all that to say I'm not surprised that they're getting a divorce.
Yeah, no, I think that was we saw that coming. I was shocked that they even got married in the first place. Let's just keep it a bean. But I think she really fell in love with who he was and decided to test it out and try. Shout out to her for doing it, because I don't think a lot of other people would have done it. Either that or something else. She had something.
Okay.
Either, I don't want to say desperate, but she was something to say yeah and move forward. So
it was giving desperate.
I'm just saying, she said, "I'm gonna stick beside him." After all that, she said she's gonna stick beside him. I was shocked. But hey, she did.
Man, I gotta find that quote. Huh?
Hey, look. That's a good one. I would definitely love to see the stats on couples who stay together from these shows.
It's bad.
It's got to be low, which is why every time you watch one of those reunion shows or when they bring everybody back, they always have to bring back a couple who made it and give them updates, even though we don't care about hearing about the updates. That's why, because their numbers are probably low. So why are you finding that? You found it?
It said, "You can never bring a man to your level. He will always bring you to his. If his life is a mess, yours will be too."
Very interesting. So
it is a debatable topic.
It is definitely debatable.
I've seen a lot of women who get with men who aren't on their level, and it brings them down. Now, so you can upgrade a guy, but it requires a lot.
Here's my rebuttal to that, right? So I do think that quote has some truth to it, right? I think the main piece of that quote says you cannot level up a guy. He has to want to level up and level up himself. That's the biggest piece. So that's why I agree with that quote to a certain extent, right? Because it's like, you can't do it, but he's got to want to do it, right? So if the girl is already leveled up and she on her business, that's going to want the guy to say, you know what? I got to step my game up. And
Some
he will level
guys.
up himself. Some guys, not everybody.
Don't even say most. Don't even.
You see,
Some guys.
I didn't say it. Chill
I
on
heard. I saw
me.
you try to form your lips to
No.
say it.
Look, I'm being very careful with my words, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you know your girl is like up here and she ain't playing no games, and you got you a woman, and you know what you got, you gonna level up. All right, I gotta step my game up. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. So the man decides like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So some people may say, well, he decided because of what I did, therefore I helped level him up. That's a whole nother conversation. We're not getting to the semantics there, but that's a possibility. So
the bottom
that's my
line is
rebuttal.
his life was a mess, and in turn she looked a mess for even
it wasn't
involving
a good
herself
look.
in that. It was,
Everyday Gaming said, I think we should replace the word man with a person because a woman can bring you down as well. Preach.
We weren't talking about that. We were talking about Ashley and Tyler. Thank you. Like, come on. We were talking about Ashley and Tyler. Golly, y'all. Y'all be so sensitive.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But look, we not picking sides here, but just like a woman can bring you down, a man can bring you down too. Straight up. Like we seeing with Ashley and Tyler. Because now you talk about she looked a mess because he looked a mess.
I didn't say she looked a mess. I said her life probably was a mess.
Oh, well, he brought her down. So it can happen. It can happen to everyone. So shout out to Everyday Gaming for that point there. You got something there.
Good.
It was a good point. Hey, look, you got to give credit when credit's due. You feel me? We got about 50 people in the chat. 50 people watching right now. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's usually me, Vashti, and Shad. Shad has the flu, so he's down. He's down bad right now. So y'all throw up some prayers for your boy. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and continue to join the Pregame family. Last two things, and we're out of here. Did you get a chance? You probably didn't because you've been busy. But I want to talk about it real quick. Because I thought it was pretty cool. So let me pull it up here. So the women's basketball have a new league called Unrivaled. It's a 3-on-3 full court game. They had their first game, I think it was last week. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to watch. Reminds me of like the Big Three, but it's full court. And these are like not retired players. Like these are actual players. I'm curious to know. I need to do some more research on it. But I'm curious to know how much they're getting paid for this, and this substituting them having to go, overseas for it. But you got people like, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, like all the big time. I don't know if Caitlin Clark is playing in it, but you got some pretty Stewies in there, Breanna Stewart. So you got some heavy hitters in there. So yeah, I'm saying all that to say, I think that women's basketball, especially this year, WNBA, has been a lot more entertaining than the NBA, and I'm gonna check them out. Have you heard about this? Will you watch it?
I've heard about it. I haven't watched.
Yeah.
I probably won't. No shade.
Yeah.
But I did just look it up. It said the average salary is around $200,000 for that league for the women.
So 200 for the whole season. Interesting.
That's the average salary. Yeah.
Average. Okay. So it may give or take. They got some heavy hitters in there, so they're probably getting some more. I think it's cool. So they ain't had to go overseas. It's giving more publicity to the WNBA because you're watching these players. So we'll see. But shout out to Skylar Diggins. She won the first game winner. So shout out to Skylar. Last thing I want to talk about is the TGL, which is tomorrow's golf league. I think it's tomorrow's golf league, but it's basically a league where they're playing golf indoors. It's like Top Golf. This is a initiative that Tiger Woods, y'all. Tiger started with Rory McIlroy. They put a lot of money in this, and it's in a stadium. They got music playing. It's virtual, and then when you get on the green, they have a green in there that basically changes levels depending on what hole you're in. It's some crazy technology that they put into to this whole stadium. But it's pretty dope. I watched it last week, and it's cool because you see there's teams, you see them interacting, and that screen they got is absolutely ridiculous. Did you get a chance to watch it? I don't know if you even like golf, but what are your thoughts on golf kind of leveling up from a tech standpoint and making it somewhat entertaining?
You know I don't watch no golf,
What?
Carlo.
You never went golfing or Top Golf or
I've been to a couple Wells Fargo championships, and
there
I
you
was
go.
in the tent with the open bar. I didn't know anything that was going on.
Well, look,
I know.
let me tell you this from someone who I used to golf a good bit. I haven't done it in years, but when you go to these golfing championships, right? It's quiet, right? It's quiet. You can't talk. You have
Yeah.
to whisper. You clap when they finally hit the ball, and then you walk with said player for those 18 holes if you want to, or you sit like Vashti in the tent at the 18th hole and cheer for whoever comes with the open bar, right? The fact that they're doing something like this, I think is so dope. It's going to bring a different crowd to watching golf, right? I mean, look at the stadium. Like, it's so many people in there watching this. You may know what's going on, you may not, but it's celebrities there. I mean, they had DJ Khaled, they had Alex Morgan, the soccer player there. Like, it was so many people here watching. They had lights, music, entertainment. Like, I think it's dope. And I think that this is my prediction and assumption, but I think that this can be sustainable because now you could do celebrity pro-am matches where celebrities come and play with golfers, and you get to see them golf and be entertaining. I can see Kevin Hart on here at one point laughing, cracking jokes, and they got mics on, so they can talk to the announcers. Like, it's a very cool, immersive experience, and so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it. I thought it was pretty dope.
I mean, the way you describing it, I'm sold.
Look at that. They need to pay me.
I'm
TGL,
sorry. That's all
Tiger.
I'm saying.
Tiger, come look. Tiger, look at me right here. Look, come holla at me, bro. I do this for a living, bro. Let's get it. Let's make this money. Who you got? Playoffs. Let me pull it up so you can see.
Anybody but Patrick Mahomes and the
No.
Chiefs.
Oh, okay. So is it that you rooting against him because you're tired of the Chiefs, or like? And why Patrick Mahomes? You didn't say the Chiefs. You said Patrick Mahomes. Why?
I said Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't want to see them in another Super Bowl. I might not even go to the Super Bowl if they in it.
Stop it.
I ain't lying.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
I
See my
literally
boy,
was
Ken,
talking to
K-Dot.
Sheena about that. I was talking to Sheena about that today. Like, I'm not even hyped to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Why? Are you just tired of seeing the Chiefs? Is that bad, or is it just the fact that you?
I've been to the Super Bowl 3 years.
Okay.
And they've been in it two of the three. And the first one was the Rams and the Bengals.
I need you to go for multiple reasons. Okay. Let me explain. I just sold you on TGL. I'm about to sell you on going to the Super Bowl on behalf of Pregame Podcast. I need you to go because I loved hearing your insight of who's there, what you've seen. I need to hear how Kendrick Lamar, he just announced that SZA going to be a guest appearance on the Super Bowl show. I know the Super Bowl show is different on TV than live. I get that. But the real reason I need you to go on Media Row, because I know it's a lot of podcast beef going on between Whitlock and Cam, and I want to see if they're going to keep that same energy from what they've been talking about Cam. It's going to be spicy on Media Row. I need that.
Ain't nothing going down on no Media Row.
Hey, the way he talking, he said, keep that same energy. He told him that. He said, keep that same energy when I see you. I just want to look.
Everybody a tough guy, right? Oh my God.
I mean, that's Cam Newton. I mean, Look, it's Jason Whitlock. We see what Jason Whitlock look like, but I think I think you did a great job with all the coverage and stuff that you did last year. But I mean, look, that's your coin. So I'm not look if you don't want to do it, it's all
I'm on
gravy.
the fence. I'm heavily on the fence about this year. We'll see though.
We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. So you're going for Baltimore. So you're saying Baltimore and
Well,
who?
Baltimore
I'm not
already
Baltimore. I'm
lost.
sorry. I'm sorry, not Baltimore. I didn't mean to say that.
Buffalo.
You're saying Buffalo and who? Pardon me.
I really don't care. Buffalo and let's just I mean, but see the thing is like I like Hurts and I like
Yeah.
Daniels. That's tough. It doesn't matter on the other side.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do like Hurts too. I do like Daniels. I think it'd be dope to see a rookie quarterback go into the Super Bowl. I think that'd be fire. A great, amazing story. Um,
I'm gonna
but
say
then,
Washington.
but
I think their fans deserve it more. How about that?
yeah, Philly fans are a trip. Okay, I was going to say because of Frankie, like I like Frankie Louvu and all them, but then like the Panther fan hater in me is like, dang, they left us. Now they going to the Super Bowl, but I don't. Philly fans are a trip, so I don't care on that side. I think I'm leaning towards Philly, just so Saquon Barkley can make the GM really get fired for New York.
But see, the thing is, I don't think. I mean, nobody was prioritizing running backs.
I think
It's just been a undervalued position for a few years, and maybe his performance this season will change that. But like,
yeah, I think that's another thing the playoffs taught me is that they need to stop treating running backs like that because these running backs are killing it. Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon did well. Saquon Barkley, all the running backs who were once one man's trash is another team's treasure for sure. So we'll see, but I got the Chiefs beating the Bills. I just don't see it happening. I mean Josh Allen. His what word am I looking for? I can't think of it. Dang. I can't think of it, but yeah, that's his crutch. I mean, he can't get past them. We'll see. All right, this has been fun. I appreciate y'all. One thing I definitely want to say, and I was thinking about whether I was going to say it, but I'll tell you all, I'm working on it. Just secured an interview with an NFL agent, and we're going to do it may not be live, but we're going to do an interview with the NFL agent just to kind of get inside the mind of what takes place during the off season, how they get their clients, how they work on these particular deals. So it's gonna be a really cool conversation. So Vashti, if you want to join, let me know. I'm
who's
gonna
the
let
agent?
Sean. His name is Nashad Davis. He works with Wasserman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are his clients?
He's got a few. He's got a few. One you don't know, Jeremiah Smith, but they got a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to share all of them because I'm not sure
Okay.
which ones he necessarily covers.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
they got like when I went through their profile, they got a lot of
Oh yeah, Wasserman is
people.
a
It's pretty well
big
known.
agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty big agency. So if you all, I say all that to say this. If you all have any questions you always wanted to ask an NFL agent on how things work, how they make these deals, how involved are the players, all those different things, y'all let us know. Kryptonite, thank you. Kryptonite was the word I was looking for. Appreciate it. I couldn't think of it. Appreciate it. But if y'all have any questions, y'all let me know. We're in the works of scheduling that. I'm going to record it. It's not going to be live, so it's going to be recorded, and then I'm going to put it down as an episode on my YouTube page. So just make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's going to be a dope interview. I'm excited. He's very entertaining. It's going to be a great conversation. He's very entertaining. So it's not going to be a boring interview by any means. So shout out to my guy Nashad. So yeah, that's it. that is it for us. One thing I will say is we will be live 7:30 next Thursday, but the following Thursday I have to go to Puerto Rico for work. So we probably won't have a podcast that week. So that's a week off for you, Vashti. You'll be going to the Super Bowl, so you'll be coming back from the Super Bowl if you do go. Because I think it's like the 6th, February 6th. You'll be coming back.
9th. Oh,
9th?
yeah,
One of those
Super
days,
Bowl
yeah.
is on the 9th.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so you'll be going too.
Alright.
But yeah, that's it. But that's it for us. Thank y'all for joining. Make sure y'all continue to spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to pull up on us next time. We out of here. Peace.